Namaste, everybody. I trust that you are all feeling blessed, as am I. So, today I am going to tell you the story of Jacob and Esau. This is also a story from the Bible, and it is the story of, you remember I told you the story of Joseph, right? Joseph, the boy who had the coat of many colors, whose brothers take him and sell him off to a slave merchant. So, this story is about Joseph's father, Jacob. Okay, and Jacob, they say when he was born, because he and Esau were both twins, they say that when Esau was the firstborn, so when he was coming out of the birth canal, it was literally like Jacob caught on to his heel. He wanted to pull him back and he wanted to come out first, you know. So that's the beginning, okay. So as a result, what happened was, all his life Jacob had this certain envy for his brother's position, because his brother was older than him, which meant that everything would go to the brother. So what Jacob did was, later in life, as their father, grew older and the father became blind, you know, and when he knew that the father was actually going to take his last breaths, he went to his father, dressed like Jacob, spoke like Jacob, and he took from his father the blessing, the birthright, the double portion, it's called, of what it was that actually Esau was supposed to receive from his father, because that blessing, that birthright is, it's like we write a will, right? So this blessing was a sign that you are the heir, you know, after me, you take over after me, right? So he did this by tricking the father, you know. And when Esau came to know about this, he was livid with rage. He went after Jacob. He was ready to kill him. So Jacob literally had to flee that land. You know, he ran away from there. And then for years after that, the brothers were estranged. There was no, they did not meet each other. There was no connection, nothing, you know. He took everything and ran, Jacob. And in the meantime, Esau built up his own power, his own strength, and he managed to do very well for himself. Now, after many, many years, as he was getting older, Jacob now started feeling a very great longing and a pining to go back to his homeland. He wanted to go back home, you know. And he was in a quandary. What should I do? If I do go back, is this guy going to let me come? You know, because Esau was the head now of the village, or you know, the place where they lived. But nevertheless, his longing was so strong and his desire was so strong that he sent word to Esau. Sorry, I'm taking a sip of water. So Esau, when he got the message, he relayed a message back to his brother saying, yes, please come. And he told the messenger, because those days they used to send messages via messenger, not Facebook messenger, but actual person who went as the messenger. he told the messenger, and he gave him a specific place and said, tell him to come to this place, which was like the border, and I will be coming there, and I will be meeting there, and I will be getting my 400 strong army with me. My men will be with me. So now this message was relayed back to Jacob, and Jacob was like, okay, but this does not bode well, right? Because if he's coming with his men and everything, but nevertheless he said, this is a chance I have to take because I really want to go back home. So he comes with his family in tow, and all of his belongings, his people and everything. Now what he does is, he is a little afraid, right? Because obviously he knows that he has wronged his brother. So what he does is, he asks his wife and children to step away, to stand at the side. And as he's approaching the border, Esau, when he sees Jacob, he goes running towards him at great speed, and Jacob is like afraid for his life. But when Esau approaches him and actually nears him, he flings his arms around his brother and he hugs him, and he tells him how much he's missed him and how much he loves him, and he goes happily and he hugs Jacob's wife and his children and he kisses them. And Jacob, is like completely stumped. He's like, oh my God, what is going on? I thought this guy would be like out to get revenge, And he looks upon his brother and his smiling face, and he says, to look at your face right now is like I am beholding God smiling upon me, And so Esau forgave Jacob, and he took him back, and they all lived happily ever after. Now we move ahead, and I bring you from here, and amongst Jacob's children was Joseph, right? Joseph was a little boy then, because Joseph was born very late to Jacob, okay? And Jacob, because of the fact that he had wronged his brother, also became blind towards the end of his life. So while Joseph was a little boy, his father had, later he lost his vision. So now Joseph is standing there, he has seen all this, right? And then how Joseph's life unfolded later, right? Because he too was then cheated by his brothers, treated wrongly, sold to a slave merchant, where he lands up in Egypt, where he lands up in the court, he lands up in the home of a big minister of the court, and then again there, when the minister's wife wants to seduce him and he refuses, he lands up in jail, and then from jail, because of his abilities to predict, to be able to read dreams, interpret dreams, the Pharaoh makes him into the prime minister, right? But through it all, he kept the faith. And so when that day came, when his brothers came to Egypt in search of food, because there was this huge famine and drought everywhere, he saw them and he ran into a room and he wept and wept and wept. because he had waited for this day all his life. He had waited, he had longed to see his family. And now that he was seeing them, he was overwrought, because what happened was everything that he had undergone, all the difficulties, all the obstacles, all the loneliness, the misery, the sadness that his soul had felt because of their actions, it all started rising up, you know. And his first reaction was, okay, they are here and now they are in my control. I can take revenge. I can take them and I can put them into prison, and I can give it back to them. They don't get away with what they have done to me. And even while he's thinking all this, because he's been so in touch with the divine, he's been so in touch with his God, that there flashes inside him the memory of that time when his father was face to face with Esau, and Esau embraced him with love and forgiveness and took him into his home and hearth along with his family. Came to him, and he realized that this was not the way forward, that vengeance was not going to be the way for him to treat his brothers. He was going to treat his brothers with love and forgiveness, and which is what he did, right? And this is where our story ends. And why exactly am I telling you this story? Is because sometimes in our lives, all of us, with exception to none, all of us go through periods, all of us go through having relationships with people where we have been treated unfairly, unjustly, where we have felt that people have ridden roughshod over us, right? But the way to go is to understand that no matter what somebody says, no matter what somebody does, you have to find it inside yourself to walk that path of love towards them, no matter what they are doing to you. It matters not. We have to always and always try to be the bigger person, because at the end of the day, it is a journey that we are all taking, and like they say, right, God gives you burdens as heavy as He knows that you can lift. People feel they're getting crushed under the weight of what they're going through, but the divine knows that you can handle it. The divine is aware, and when you take the step to be the bigger person, to be in a space of forgiveness, even then you are being watched, you are being seen. Everything that you are putting out is going to return. This is something I have told you, you know that. Know this, get it like literally etched, into your every cell. We cannot think, we cannot act we cannot speak, we cannot feel without it in some way, shape, or form coming back to us, you know. And which is why we need to always, always, always keep that flame inside yourself burning of divine love. We don't get into a space where if somebody is being a certain way with me, I also stoop to their level, you know. No, I try to show them kindness. I'm using the word try because I know that we are all on a journey. Sometimes life, sometimes you're in a very good flow, you manage to do everything perfectly. Some days it's difficult. I understand that, which is why I'm using the word try. But try, and if at all you don't, what is it? If at first you don't succeed, try and try again. We are supposed to do this day in and night out, you know. No matter, you may say, Upasana, but you don't know, there are people in my life, they've done what to me, you know. You have no clue. How can I forgive such people? There are people in the world, there are people who have forgiven the ones that have raped them, there are people who have forgiven the ones who have killed their children, other members of their family. You know, what can be worse than that? What can be worse than that? To err is human, which means to make mistakes is human, because the human makes mistakes. But to forgive is divine. To forgive is divine. Always understand one thing. I have come here, I am on a journey, and it is a journey of self realization. It is a journey of self transformation. You are here being transformed, right? Like the caterpillar in the cocoon, we are being transformed into the butterfly, you know. It has to go through pain. It has to. There is no other way out, or else you don't understand, you know. I mean, each and every one of us, me included, and there are lots of other people like me, where the energy workers will know this, the light workers will know this. We have all had, some of us, very extreme journeys, you know. I'm somebody I've had innumerable people telling me, you know, in India we have this horoscope thing, no, you give your birth date and time and all of that. I've had innumerable people telling me that, you know, your horoscope shows that you have had such a difficult life. How have you even managed? But we can see that you have great spiritual power within you and with you. I said, yes, that is a thing that is keeping me going. That is a thing that has kept me alive to date. The knowing and the knowledge that there is a force far, far greater than this human body, far greater than this human mind can even begin to comprehend, that is looking out for me in every moment. In every moment, you know, like I tell you, it's like a divine computer. So do not think that if actions have been taken against you, if things have been said about you, you know, if you think that people are talking behind your back in your office, in your families, right? People have a tendency to do these things because it's human nature, you know, it's human nature. understand that the ones that are your detractors are sitting in judgment of you, right? If I say something about somebody which is not nice, that means I'm judging them, isn't it? Correct? And in actuality, when somebody comes from a place of judgment about us, they are coming from a space of extreme powerlessness. You know, if you're supposing you're in a cab, or you're in a car, you're driving yourself, whatever, but you're in a traffic jam, right? And now you're seeing people who are cutting. You know how it is, people cut lanes because everyone is in a hurry, right? And then you see people doing things like that, and the mind starts sticking, and you say, oh my god, how can people do that? And people are like this and blah blah blah. The mind starts going blah 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 blah. You know, we're judging them, you know. And why are we judging them? Because at that moment I can't do a damn thing, right? I'm feeling frustrated because I need to reach a place on time, and now I'm already stuck in this jam. On top of that, somebody else, but just when things were moving smoothly and we were going to get out of it, here this guy comes and cuts from there, and you know, it's like people are just not letting you move ahead. You are feeling powerless, and at that time you're judging them left, right and center. You know, people who judge, us included, because we are doing it constantly, right? We go out somewhere, or we are, even if when we are watching television, forget going anywhere, even when you're watching television, and I mean, women do it, I know, all the time. I'm sure guys do it today, because today everyone is so brand conscious and conscious of, you know, how you should be looking and how you should be dressing. We are constantly judging people. We judge people on the way they are looking, you know, on the way, on the things that they are, on the clothes they are wearing, on the bag that they are carrying, you know, which is another thing. Like, what are you going to carry that bag to your grave, or onto the, you know, cremation ground? What? It's a bag, right? Don't get so head up and caught up into all these things. Your life is very precious. It's extremely precious. It is extremely important. It is not here for you to just fritter away. Get into a space. I am divine love. I am divine radiance. I am divine safety. I am divine protection. Nobody can take this away from me. Why on earth do I want to get stuck in looking at people and hearing what they say, hearing what they're doing, and get into a spiral in my mind, you know, of judgment, of anger, of saying, okay, now you've treated me like this, wait, ek din mera bhi din aayega, then I'll show you. Know that ek din tumhara din aayega, inshallah, zarur aayega. But when that day comes, start praying from today itself. When you get that thought in your mind and you think, mera bhi din aayega and I'll show you, it is a signal and a sign to you. Go down on your knees and start praying and say, God, take this thought out from my head. Please make it so that there's no if, I know that you are the one who delivers justice. You are the one who knows everything about everybody. Please, when that day comes, and if I am put across the other person and I am in a position of power, where I can wreak my vengeance on them. You bring your forgiveness into me, God, bring it into me now. Let me be able to start forgiving them from this moment onwards, because I do not wish to carry baggage. I wish to move towards you more and more and more, closer and closer and closer. And I am aware that I cannot do it with baggage. I have to let the excess baggage go. You don't get to pay extra money and take it with you. You have to let it go. Because without forgiveness to ourselves, for ourselves and others, we cannot move ahead. We simply cannot move ahead. So I implore you, find it in your hearts to be loving, to be kind to those people who are out to make your lives miserable. Find it in you to forgive them. Understand that they know not what they do. If they did, they wouldn't be doing it. If they were so aware that, like I tell you, that it's not even like a billion. I mean, it's like the universe is watching you constantly. Every thought, word, action, feeling is being watched. You are emitting it out, and therefore it is law that what you are emitting out is going to come back to you. It's going to come back to you. So you don't have to worry about those people and why they are not getting their just desserts. The universe is, it will happen in its own time. Look and focus only upon yourself and your journey, because that is what you are here for. They are here on their journeys, and we are here to be of service to everybody, to be of assistance to everybody, no matter who and what. So we have to be in a space of love. We have to be in a space of forgiveness. You remember that Ho'oponopono prayer which I have taught you. I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you, and let it go. Let it go. Start clearing all the clouds. You remember the inner net of clouds. Start clearing the inner net of negativity. Clear it, clear it, clear it. Start sending out into your clouds forgiveness, gratitude, love. Start doing that. Because no matter what somebody may be saying about me, doing against me, God, I am in gratitude for everything that you have given to me. I am in gratitude for all the favors that you are going to bring into my life, the grace that is already flowing and that is going to continue to flow. I have no doubt that you are looking after me in every now moment. We are not even aware, of what the divine is doing for us. Do you remember that cyclone that was supposed to come to Bombay? Right? It would have been very awful. We got saved, na? Who saved us? The divine has saved us from that cyclone. When the divine can do things like that, everything is the creation of the divine. Do you think that it will not save you from other bigger calamities? It is not already saving you on a moment to moment basis? We are not even aware of the grace that is flowing in our lives. So let's find it in our hearts to send blessings, to send forgiveness to everyone, irrespective. Irrespective. We all need it. We all need it, and the detractors, the naysayers, they need it even more. They need it even more. So that was the message for the day. And yes, I also want to tell you guys, please, please, please share, subscribe, like this video. Please post comments if it has made any difference to you, this one or any of the other ones. YouTube gives you the option to post comments. Please do that. I'd love to know what you think, what you feel after you have heard the various videos that I have posted. Okay, gratitude to you for being there, for listening. And inshallah, I am planning to do the violet flame invocation and mini little workshop kind of thing where I teach you how to use it on Tuesday night. This will happen on Instagram, so I will be posting the link and all the details as well. So looking forward to seeing you there. And today is Sunday and it's a fun day, so enjoy your day, and please, please, please find it in your hearts to forgive all. Forgive yourselves as well. Wherever you are angry with yourself, please send forgiveness to your own selves as well. And I just want you to know that we love you tremendously. Okay? So infinite love, infinite blessings. Namaste.